Hello, everybody. My name is Jay. I'm the moderate Texan, and today we got a very, very special episode. It is Veterans Day, y'all. Y'all know I'm a veteran. I'm an Air Force vet. You know, just the best service on the planet, the Air Force. But with me, I have two other veterans, and we're going to start with that today. I have my beautiful aunt to my right, as you can see here. That is Miss Alicia Stokes. She's U.S. Navy retired, as you can see there by her name. And then my amazing and super smart father below me, who is a Chicago Bears fan, and we will eventually pray for his wisdom to change later in the future. But he is former sergeant in the United States Army, Mr. James Williams Jr., as I am the third and most updated and best model. Ryan, how you doing, my guy? Thank you for coming through. All right, before we jump into the awesome section, which will be the veteran panel, please start dropping your questions in the chat. We want to make sure we take all your questions that you guys want to ask us. But first, you guys will see the social media links down in the plug. You'll see my Twitter. You'll see all the different podcast links for Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like what I'm bringing y'all. I'm going to try and continue this, and I'm going to start getting back into some college tape. And lastly, before we jump into our amazing panel here, what do you guys need me to pray for? If you're not comfortable jumping and dropping it in the comments below or in the chat right now, message me privately on Twitter. I got you, fam. All right. With that out the way, it is Veterans Day, baby. Yes. So we'll start with the Navy lady on the right of me. Tell us about yourself.
Hello, all you wonderful people out there. My name is Alicia Stokes. I am the beautiful aunt of the moderate Texan and the sister-in-law of the guy down there with the U.S. Army. 26 years served in the United States Navy as a United States Navy CV equipment operator. Best 26 years of my life. I retired in 2019. And I'm living my best life right now.
We're all living our best life right now. We're breathing. That means God is good.
Yeah, he's
all right.
Good, but everybody's not living their best life.
That's true. Down to my father, Mr. Williams yourself. Can you introduce yourself? Tell the people about yourself.
Hello, father who should be the moderate bear, whatever. U.S. Army veteran. Although I don't ever feel like a veteran because I served 8 years. I was deployed twice to Kansas. Kansas. I fought Lilliputians. I don't know what. Kansas.
That was arduous duty, though.
Yeah, it was hazardous duty, especially man. But anyway,
for those of you who are not from the United States, real quick, for those of you not from the United States, Kansas is nothingness. That is what Kansas is. And like my father, I was stationed across the city from him, across state lines in Missouri, which translates to misery. So yeah, it was not fun at all. But go ahead, Dad. What were you saying?
Well, I will say the Army on
You're breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up there, Dad.
Oh,
you're breaking up.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
every other word.
Yeah, it's like you're cutting out in and out.
You know what? Let me do this.
And
all right.
Hold on real quick. It is better, but I got to address this comment here. they're saying that you, Dad, are Lovey Smith, and we cannot confirm or deny that because we've never seen you guys in the same room at the same time. They've seen me and Lovey at the same room at the same time, but never you and Lovey in the same room at the same time. So we'll leave that up to fate and what people want to think. But yeah, they think you're Lovey Smith here.
If I had this, I would go get this beard on point. So I'm trying to be like. So, of course, he left he went from Chicago to Texas, but that's all right. That's all right. But yeah, so I served 8 years in Kansas. Kansas gave me a career, one life. So your mom, of course. I cannot say anything about the experience. So I'm thankful.
Oh, thank you. It seems that we're having a little audio troubles with you. You might want to move closer either to the router or something. I don't know what's going on there, but it's fine. It is what it is.
We'll get through it.
We'll power through. There we go. Amazing build. Beard in the building is as we're saying. What's up?
It's a press on.
And I just have scraps here. See, he got the beard. But see, the thing that's different is, as you guys can't tell, just like Lovey, my dad is bald. I got the hair in the family. So yeah, that's how it goes. All right, let's jump into it a little bit. I don't want to take up too much of these guys' time. They are busy people and much smarter and wiser than me, and they have real jobs. I'm just a software engineer. So let's get into some stuff. So I'll start here with you, TT, again. I wanted to ask you guys a couple questions, and like I said, y'all, if y'all have questions for them in the chat or for me, feel free to ask them. I'm just going to start with a couple of questions here. So first question, I'll start with you, TT. What did your service mean to you?
So funny story, and I don't know if you know this, but my original desire was to serve in the Air Force. But because I came in at such a late age, I got offered the Navy. And because I couldn't swim, I specifically asked for a job that did not go on a ship. So my love for the Navy actually was secondary. But obviously it became my first love because that's where I served the last 26 years. So being a CB was extraordinary because even though, you know, we are in the Navy, we were basically our own community. And, you know, a lot of people would say, oh, I'm a CB, and people wouldn't know who we were because, you know, they're like, well, what is that in the Navy? So we're becoming more and more well-known for all the things we are doing. And I've been very, very proud of the places that I've gone and served as a CB and the projects that I've done that have, you know, built this country and built our war zones and things like that. So I'm very proud of that.
Yeah. Funny story about the CBs. When I went through tech school, people who don't know me and don't know that I was in the Air Force, I went to tech school at Shepherd Air Force Base. And at Shepherd Air Force Base, they had a CB unit actually out there that was taught out there.
The school.
And to me, that was that school was out there, and so I was like, wow, this is, you know, the world is a small place. I didn't realize the CBs trained out there at Shepherd Air Force Base, which is another base that's out there in the middle of nowhere.
True story.
That is out there in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. All right, Dad, we got you back in here. We can still see your Lovey Smith beard good. I'll ask the same question to you. What did your service mean to you?
You hear me okay?
Yep.
I can hear you just fine.
Awesome. For me, it was the perfect start to life. I had nowhere to go. I had nothing to do. Growing up in Chicago, inner city Chicago, it's not good for a young African-American man with no direction. And I actually didn't. The only reason I joined the Army, and I wish my brother was on now, is because he told me all the stories he went through in basic training, which sounded like fun to me. But he joined reserves. Mm-hmm. And so I went thinking I was going to a reserve recruiter. I wound up in an active duty recruiter's office. And I said, I want to do Army Reserves, split option training. I want to go to basic training this summer, and next summer go to my advanced training. And he said to me, "Oh, well, that sounds good. So tell me, you're 18, you're just graduating high school. What are you going to do after you graduate?" I said, "Well, I don't know." He said, "Well, you got any money for college?" "No." "You have any skills?" "No, I break dance." And he said, "Well, let me tell you what. Let me tell you what's going to happen. You're an inner city kid in Chicago. You're going to wind up catching a charge, running them streets, and then even the Army's not going to want you."
Wow.
So he said, "Let me tell you what. If you assign a contract to go 3 years active duty, we'll give you a career, we'll give you money for college, and then you can get some direction." So I did. He asked me, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Well, I think I want to be a dentist." He said, "Well, we don't have any jobs as a dentist. Why don't we put you in this job called medical lab scientist?" I said, "Okay, that sounds interesting." It wasn't until I started training that I found out it was what my dad did. He worked in the blood bank all of his life. Started in the Army, did it at University of Chicago, and so I've been doing it since. So what the Army gave me, again, is an excellent career, one that I continue to serve in today. And it gave me knowledge of how to be a man, how to be responsible. So it took me from the streets of Chicago and made me a responsible man.
That's interesting story that you say that you wanted to be a dentist. I think I've heard you say, I think you said you wanted to go dentist first, and then they said, here's medical laboratory technician. Funny story about when I went into the Air Force. I'll tell you all this real quick before we move into the next question. When I went to the recruiter for the Air Force, my recruiter, I wanted to get, first off, I need y'all to understand, I was stupid when I was 18 years old. Stupid with a capital STUPID. I was stupid. And when I went to the recruiter, I wanted to get out as quickly as possible, get out of my parents' house as quickly as I possibly could. So I chose the quick ship option. And the quick ship option was to serve a minimum of 2 years in service. And it had a specific job. What I didn't know was the job at the time was medical laboratory technician, which is exactly what my dad and my grandfather of the same name do. But it changed right when I went to MEPS, which is why I'm the better version of them, and I became medical logistics. So while they did their blood drawing stuff and saw people's blood on a regular basis, I did not see people's blood on a regular basis. In fact, I saw money because I was logistics. So it was cool stuff. All right,
there's still a little stupid in there too, by the way.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of stupid in here. Quite a bit of stupid in here. Not a little bit. But, and it'll always be there. I'm a child to the day I die. It's how it is. All right, this time we'll start with you, Dad. We'll start with you, Dad. On this next question, would you do it again?
Absolutely. You know, I am today the sum of my choices from yesterday. And so I wouldn't change anything. I mean, there are some instances in my life that I would do better at, but joining the Army, I look back at some of my friends and some of the people I hung out with. I wouldn't want to be in that spot. I'm glad where I'm at now. I would absolutely do it again. I mean, it produced you. You were my first child born in the Army. So absolutely, I would do it again.
Awesome. Well, being produced of the Army, it seems that I got the smarts actually, because I went to the better service, the Air Force, you know, where the smart people go. TT,
okay. No,
would you do
lazy.
it again? Oh, you call us lazy. Warheads on foreheads all day. TT, would you do it all over again?
I absolutely would. And if I had to really say I would change anything, and I probably am saying it, but I won't, is I came in at 27. I think I was more focused, because if I would have came in at 18 like you, I don't think I would have done 26. I think that my first tour would have discouraged me, and I would have been too bullheaded to believe that that was just only the first tour and that was not the Navy. I wouldn't have been as driven. So I wouldn't have changed. Even I had some hardships, and I wouldn't change those either, because they made me who I am today. They made me the strong woman, independent Black woman that you see in front of you, that has been able to mentor, guide, train, and lead other branches of service, officers, and enlisted alike. So no, I would not.
Awesome. Funny story before I jump into if I would do it again. Y'all, I need y'all to understand how awesome my aunt is.
Thank you.
She was a drill instructor. She was a senior chief. She was everything that I wish I could have been in the service. That's her. That's who she is. That's how amazing she is.
Thank you.
And in a field that is that wasn't typically open to females, especially Black females. CBs who are Black females, she had a lot going against her, and she not only overcame those challenges, but she shined brightly through them. So I'm very proud of you too.
Thank you.
Exactly. She is
Brother.
historic. Y'all looking at history right here, and
I love
power.
you both. I love you.
We love you too. We love you too. So I'll answer the question now. Would I do it again? And the answer is absolutely. And this is even knowing what I know now about the service. All the injuries I've suffered, all the things that the quirks that I've gained from being in the service. You know, I can't sit with my back to the door anymore. I gotta see the door. I gotta see the exits. Even with all those things, y'all, I got 2 college degrees out of it, and I'm working on my master's. My dad's working on his PhD. My aunt is getting her master's. I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. 10 out of 10 times, 100 out of 10 times, I'm doing it again. Completely and utterly. I would put my body on the line for that.
Absolutely.
So, and there's the other bit. Yes, Tuesday was voting day here in the United States. We voted in the midterm elections.
Yep, we did.
Part of the reason that I served is so all of you guys who are there in the comments there that are from the United States, so that you guys can vote, that you guys have your votes. I would do that all over again for people I don't even know and don't even care about and who hate my guts. I do it all over.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll start this time with my dad. Did we start with you last time? We started with you last time. We'll start with TT. TT, what challenges did you face not only getting out of the service, but when you were in?
So your dad hit it on the head. You know, I joined a field that was typically farm guys that learned how to operate equipment before they learned how to drive. I was a heavy equipment operator. So we're talking graders, cranes, dozers, tractor trailers. You know, look at me. I look like I should be an admin weenie. But I chose that field because I wanted the challenge. So it was being a Black, very, very vocal and strong woman that was against these guys that's how they were raised, were on farm. They came out of the womb on a piece of equipment. So I had a lot to learn, and they were not willing to teach me. And like I said, I was very driven. So even though they didn't teach me, they ended up working for me because I was driven. So, and even though I was over them, you know, some of them, you know, like your dad said, like you said, James, when I first joined, women were not even in the battalions in this. I had to go to ADAC, Alaska until they let us in the battalion. And so when we got there, they were like, what are these chicks doing here? You know, they didn't even have bathrooms for us, you know, they didn't have birthing for us. So that was the challenge. But, you know, that's probably why I have so many male friends, because I just became one of the guys. I wasn't, I'm a girl, I can't do that. You can't do that in the Seabees. It's not possible. We you know, we're a platoon together, we were a squad together, we were a fire team together. We were like that. And there was no male, there was no female. You had to hold your own. So, you know, that was the challenge sometimes, is really having to hold my own and not go in there and be a diva.
I think that's something that we'll jump into that a little bit. I'll come back to that because I have something to say on that. Dad, same question to you. What challenges do you think you faced both in the service and getting out of it?
For me, the challenge was more in the service. So in the Army, and I'm sure it's the same way in the Navy and Air Force, you pretty much have to make a decision. Are you going to be a lifer, or are you going to get what you get and quit? I was in a field where I served in Army hospitals, and because we didn't deploy, we didn't do any special training, we just saved lives. And that didn't get you the recognition. So my progression after 8 years to only be E5 makes it look like I was a poor soldier, when I was exemplary at everything that I did, but the opportunity for promotion wasn't there.
Right.
Now, had I gotten out of the hospital and moved to a field unit that deployed, I would have been an E7 after 8 years.
Yeah.
But the exchange for me was the education and experience that made me highly employable on the outside. So I made that decision after 8 years. A lot of people told me 8 years is too many to throw away in the military, stay for 20. I made the decision that I would take my skills and pursue civilian career. So the transition to civilian life was easy for me. It was harder for me to move up in the military. And so I made that decision that I would rather be a good lab tech than a generalist in the Army and be promoted and not have the skill when I needed to get out.
Yeah.
So everybody makes their own choices.
Yeah.
I would have loved to done 26 years and have that retirement check, but the skill I have has allowed me to make arrangements on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find it interesting because I made a very similar decision to my dad. I got out at 6. He did 2 years longer than me, but I started in active duty, and my first challenge was, I don't know if they know this actually, my aunt and my dad, but I was going to stay active duty. I was trying to stay, but I had a bad master sergeant in our MPR in our
I remember that.
Yeah, and he was retiring and he was getting out, and he was supposed to send me my paperwork 6 months to 4 months out to give me the decision if I was going to stay or not. And he never did that. He did it like a month before I was set to get out.
Wow.
So my spot was gone. And I only had one choice: Palace Chase, so go guard or go reserve. And that was it. That was my only options. So I chose to go to the reserves. And I came back to San Antonio, and I still had a very big active duty mindset. I was very good at my job. I had a lot of accolades that I came to the reserves with. The problem was I was in a good old boy system. And a good old boy system,
it's a real thing.
It's the real thing, y'all. I don't know how else to say it. It's not racist. I don't want y'all to think that there was any racism about it. It was all, I was the new guy, and I was the guy who came in and was not a part of their system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I tried to be, but I saw stuff wrong and I called it out.
Yeah.
And that was not it for me. Like my dad, I made the tough choice. At 6 years, I mean, I could have stayed. I could have done 20 years in the military. I was getting $400 a month for, 2 days of work a month. That was nothing. But I chose to get out for my own sanity, and 2, because I had my benefits, and because my wife, who's sitting right over there on the couch, you guys can't see her, but because she's the one who made me go to school. And school in the military is not easy to do, especially when you're going to like a university full time. So you guys can blame my wife for also me getting out of the service because she forced me to go to school so I could marry her. So let's move on to the next question. What's up, Italo? It's good to see you, man. Good for you coming through. I do want to address this question. I did respond. That is my aunt. So that's my aunt, Alicia Stokes, and my dad below. The answer to your question: we all look so young because black don't crack. That is the reason. So that's just how that works. Let's go ahead and move on to the next question. If there is one thing that you guys could pass on to the next generation of vets, what would it be? I'm going to start with this one. Everything that you've learned as a civilian, leave that at the door. That would be the first thing I'd tell anybody going into the service. Leave it at the door. Put your pride aside, put yourself aside, put your ideals aside, put all that aside for the country. When you swear into the office, it is, you're going to protect the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic, so help you God. That right there, like, that tells you, put it all aside. Put everything that you were thinking that you're going to be this awesome person and you're going to be the dude in special forces. Nah, put all that junk aside and go do your job for the country. And then when you get out, enjoy some Veterans Day meals for free. Get your healthcare taken care of. Go to school. But put all that other junk that y'all want to, all the rights. No, put all that aside. Put it all aside. Put all that aside and serve.
Right.
So
right.
That's my bit. I'll go with Dad. I'll let you answer that question next.
Yeah, those are all great things. Have a plan. Have a plan going into the Army or into the military. Know what you want, but sign up for every education benefit you can get. Take those deductions up front. You don't need those dollars. They're just gonna get you in trouble in the military anyway. Sign up for those education benefits and use them as soon as you can. If you do have downtime, take classes, pursue your degree. Let the government pay for you while you're in, and then when you're out, you have even more benefits. So learn about those benefits. Shut up, do your job. This is not a democracy in the Army. You belong to Uncle Sam. They call you GI because you're a government issued piece of equipment. So do your job, do it well, and get all the benefits you can get.
He ain't lying, yo. TT, what do you got to say for the young bucks?
Definitely agree with both of you. If I had to put it in order of balance, because that's huge. I'm a therapist, so I would say balance. I would say God, family, sailor, you. You take care of those three things. Those three things will take care of you. The other thing is you're going to have bad leaders everywhere. You could take anything from a bad leader and know not to do that. You could take things from a good leader and know that's what you do. But if you are there because that's what you decided you want to do, you decided you wanted to serve, don't let your permanent decision change something that's, a temporary thing, make a permanent decision and then you can't come back. If it's truly what you wanted to do, because believe me, I had a lot of bad days, but I did not let those days change my permanent decision of retiring. When I retired, my speech was, I got out like 10 or 15 times. And I never got out. I just retired. So I didn't let any of those situations change me. Education, TSP, save some money. One of the biggies, the military gives you money to live somewhere. Buy a house.
Right.
Don't rent it, buy it. Buy it. That's a huge investment. I wish somebody would have told me when I was younger that buy a house, sell it, and boom, you made more money. You made money. So buy a home, get you some education, save you some money. Don't let people run you away from your dream. Serve if that's what your desire is.
Yeah. There's one more thing I want to say to anybody who's thinking about serving or anybody who's thinking, who's in right now. My other advice to you would be, this is your career in the service. No one is going to hold your hand. As you said, TT, you had a lot of bad bosses. I did as well. I think all of us had bad bosses in the service. It's just how it is, right? Mm-hmm. It's a microcosm of the United States of America, just with less rights. But the reality is your career is your career. And this is what it's taught me outside of the military, is that everybody else who has complaints about their career, it's your career. Like, don't expect your boss to give you the promotion. Go get it. Don't expect your boss's boss to just make your boss better. Just put your head down and do your job. And I think that needs to be, that's something that was instilled in us when we were in the service, is that we just learned to put our heads down and do the job. Because that's what it is. Tala, my wife did not have to force me to study. I just had to study in order to marry her. That's called making a decision. It's a business decision. I had to do it. Business decision. All right. Last question here, unless you guys have additional questions for us in the chat. I don't see any at the moment. But what is something, and I'll start with you, TT. What is something that you wish civilians knew about military life that they always get wrong, or that commonly get wrong?
That they commonly get wrong?
Mm-hmm.
That we have a lot of money. We don't have a lot of money. We have a lot of benefits. There's a difference.
Yeah. What about you, Dad? What do you say to that?
We're not all jarheads. We don't run around acting like Rambo or whatever.
Right.
No, and we're not all. We can't just jump up in the middle of an invasion and know what we're doing. We're just like everybody else, but we have some skills.
Yeah. I'll say the thing that I'll say to everybody, there's actually a couple of things. One, I don't care what you do with your freedom of speech. I just expect you to accept your own consequences. Like that's the right. I fought for you to have the right for freedom of speech. I fought for you to have the right to vote for who you wanted to vote for. I don't care who you vote for. Just accept the consequences of what everybody's going to say about you when you do whatever you did that was socially not the best. And the second thing is, yes, I was trained in the military. We're all trained to kill. That's what we're trained to do. But that doesn't mean I'm a killer.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I'm crazy in the head. It just means that I was trained to do it.
Yeah.
And yes, if you ask me today if I had to go to war, would I be able to do it? The answer is no, because I don't remember how to break down an M16. Because I haven't done it in a long time. So no, I mean, I can break down my pistol, but I can't break down an M16. So I'm not going to go to war for you. I might be young enough, but I'm not in any type of shape. But yeah, that's what I've got for y'all. Is there anything else y'all want to give out? Anything else y'all want to say to anybody out there?
I'll just say thank you to all those who serve. Thank you to all those who support those who serve. There's a lot of wives, a lot of families who made just as many sacrifices. Men and women have to deploy for long periods of time and be absent from the family, and the family still has to run. And those sacrifices are seen. Even the community that has honored us so much on this day. We thank you. You don't have to do it, but you did. So we thank you for that.
Absolutely. I say ditto to that. And always, when you see somebody out there, thank them for their service. You would be surprised how much it means. You'd be surprised. And if there's anyone out there that has served, I'm just like James and had your support. It was my honor and my pleasure to even have the opportunity, because everybody doesn't get the opportunity. Just because we try to go in, there's been people that's turned away. So everybody doesn't get to serve, But I appreciate your support, and please thank a veteran. And if you are a dependent or you're a supporter, I appreciate what you have done to support your family.
Yes.
In this great nation.
Yes. Don't y'all forget about the kids, right? I can't say much because I don't remember everything in Kansas, and I'm glad I don't, because it's not the greatest of places to be. But but what I will say is they go through it rough too, right? The Army brats. It's a hard thing to be picked up and moved every few years. Absolutely. For your parents' career. So when you see that veteran, remember that family went through it as well, and they were broken, and they were struggling, and they were going through it that whole time. So absolutely, that support system is necessary. So if you guys if you know any vets, and I bet you do, because I think 1% of U.S. society is vets or something like that. You probably know that 1 in 100 people that's a vet. Thank them. Be there for them. Be their rock, because they need somebody.
Absolutely.
So, with that, I don't want to keep you guys on. If you don't want to stay, you're more than welcome to stay for the film review. But that's going to be it. That is the veterans panel for the day.
All right.
Before we jump
Appreciate
in.
it.
Of course. Love y'all.
Bear down.
Two teams. Who cares? Go Go Navy.
Go Air Force, Thunderbirds, go.
Chair Force, Chair Force.
Love y'all,
right,
love y'all.
love you.
All right, guys, I am going to continue on this night. We are going to continue on with film study. We're going to do a little bit of film review. Let me get them out of this chat real quick. We'll go on here. Get them out of this too. All right. So let's get it going, y'all. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that veteran segment, and it was a good time for y'all. Now it's time to get into Thursday night football. Y'all know what time it is. You see the battle red towel behind me. We're about to have a little bit of fun. So for those of y'all who follow me on Twitter, you guys know that I said that I felt like the Titans game was better than what we thought it was. And the Eagles game was not as good as what we thought it was. And let's see why I say that. So let's jump in. Let me share my screen so that we can jump into that real quick. All right. Let me hide that real quick so that we can keep going. All right. And listen to Willie, y'all. Thank you, man. Thank you for your support. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. It's free to do, y'all. Jump on in. All right. So let's jump in on this first play. Let me bring this up so we can look at it. All right. So this first play is actually a really good play. I'm going to break this down a little bit for you so you guys can kind of see what's happening. As you can see on the line, remember, I want y'all to remember that Jonathan Gannon is the defensive coordinator for the Eagles. So he also is running cover 2. You can kind of see that this is starting. This safety is eking down. We have this corner here. It's cover 2 man is what it looks like. We've got our 2 linebackers here, and we have 5 on the line. So it looks like pressure is being brought. The Texans are continuing what they've kind of been doing over the last 3+ weeks and overloading the line with, it looks like Tegan Cotoriano is here as the tight end because, Tegan Cotoriano is pretty dang nice based on what I've been looking at. But he's here on the line, so that puts 6 on the line for protection against the 5-man rush. It looks like that is maybe Johnson, I think. Tyron Johnson. It looks like it's a run play coming, and we got Philip Dorsett here. So Mills is under center. Let's see what happens. Let's kind of take a look here before we jump into this play. And boom. All right. So y'all saw this play. Y'all know what it was. It was a big play. Mills makes a throw downfield to Philip Dorsett that puts us in a 1st and goal situation. Oh, we got a load. We're going to buffer. Oh, we're having issues with the stuff. Hold on 1 second. I'll get you guys back to the play. Oh. Give me a second here. There we go. All right. We're back at the play time. Here we go. So, we've got Philip Dorsett. He's busted down the field. He beats 24 here, and he should have been in for 6. That should have been 6, but it isn't. And why was it not 6? It's because Mills is inaccurate. Why is he throwing to the outside shoulder here? Really, he shouldn't be. He doesn't have to worry about inside leverage or outside leverage here. Dorsett's beating him. This ball should be on the 5-yard line with space for Dorsett to continue running. And this is a theme that we've been seeing all year with Mills, is that he continues to make throws that are slightly inaccurate, just enough for the receiver to have to turn around, to not be able to see and continue running their route, especially on deep balls. Let's look at it from the other angle, because I really want you to see that Dorsett should have had a touchdown here, just like you're saying, right? Watch this. When this ball gets to Dorsett, he's having to stop, turn around, and catch this ball. He's having to make an athletic catch here. He shouldn't have had to do that. That, if he would have been able to keep running, I think that's Chauncey Gardner right there, right? That ball should have been, no, that's 23 is Chauncey Gardner. That ball should have been in for 6. But he has to turn around here. This is a great, what I want you guys to also recognize is that this is a great play call. He had him beat. I mean, let's look at that one more time. He beat him. Dorsett absolutely cooked him. He's got him beat. He's leaving. Look at the space. If he puts that here-ish, clean pocket, nobody touched him after the play. I mean, I don't know what else you could say here, right? So if this ball is put in the right spot, that's 6, and everybody's saying the Texans offense is alive. What's going on here? Instead, we have to make a play later to score a touchdown. Let's see what's going on in the next play. Let's take a look at the next play, right? Oh, and I wanted to kind of look at this real quick with y'all and show y'all something as well. Mills actually made the right read here. This is something that we've had some issues with. He makes the right read. He does have some open people. Tegan Cotoriano, he's beat his man. He's also an option here. Tyron Johnson, I believe that's Tyron Johnson here. He's beat his man as well. And by the way, this is Darius Slay. This play is designed to put pressure on these two, and it did. It moves him out, and Tyron Johnson is one-on-one with Slay, and he's open. They're open. Throw this ball in front of him. That's pass interference if you throw that pass, right? They're open here. He's not really open. I guess you could throw this ball out right here. It looks like this is Hairston right here. You could throw this ball to Hairston. Not a great play. I like where he throws the ball. It's just he's got to be more accurate. Got to be much more accurate. All right, let's get to the next play because I don't want to keep you guys too long. It is a Friday night, and the kids are all right. Right, there we go. So y'all should know this play. Now, before we jump into it, I want to make a little bit of a statement here, and this might be crazy, but I really like Tegan Cotoriano. Not because he signed some stuff for me, but because Tegan Cotoriano runs a little bit, and I'm not saying he is, but he runs like, kind of looks like, kind of plays like a young Rob Gronkowski. Not saying he's Rob Gronkowski, but the way he's playing, the way he kind of looks like Rob Gronkowski. Let's see why I say that. Now remember, Tegan Cotoriano in college was looked at as a blocking tight end, and that was pretty much it. He wasn't really a pass-catching tight end. But right here, on a poorly thrown ball, he mosses a man. He tops a man and says, "You're too small." And he does it to two people, actually. Look at that. Look at that. I want y'all to see that in all its glory. I don't know if he's a mini Gronk, man. He's pretty big. He's a big dude. Look at how he runs. Look at how he looks. Topped him. Made it look easy. And I'm going to show you guys here in a little bit why this is a poorly thrown ball. Look at it from this angle, right? Watch. Tegan's open. That ball is woefully behind him. Woefully behind him here. Let's get this ball. Look at where he catches it. He's here. This ball is caught over here. And remember, he's not a pass catch. He's not known as a pass catching tight end. He's known as a blocking tight end. And he just did both these dudes dirty like that. Actually, the easier throw would have probably been to Brevin here, but let's not talk about Brevin until later. But look at what he does. That's what we're looking for in a tight end. Now, I'm not saying the tight end room is fixed because we have Tegan Cotoriano. No, this is only one play. And yes, he had to adjust to this. He definitely had to adjust because this ball was thrown very far behind. But this is what we've been looking for in NFL level tight ends, something that this guy right here has not been doing. Tegan Cotoriano in one play shows that he can do that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful play. And at the end of it, he did the little ball spike, his little homage to Gronk there. Look at that play. Beautiful. Beautiful. Tegan Cotoriano, keep doing that and you've got a good room. A good future ahead of you. I will be watching your career with great interest. Great interest indeed. All right, this next play, this I wanted to show you guys because it's not necessarily a play that's bad on the defense, but missed calls, which have also been hurting the Texans. So let's look at this play. This is a defensive play here. We can see Petrie and all our boys in their glory here. So let's kind of take a look at what's happening here. We got 3 on the outside, 5 on the line, and I think this is Dallas Goedert out here on the outside. It looks like here also that we have 5 on the line. Looks like I think this is King, or this might be Harris who's pushed up here to actually this might be Kirksey. And it looks like we're kind of playing man here with cover 1, maybe cover 2 up top, right? So this looks like a cover 2 man, 5 on the line, similar to what we saw earlier, except we don't have an offset cover 2. We know this is a run play. I know it's a run play because I've watched it a couple times, but let's show you what's happening here and why I'm kind of upset with this play. And I apologize for the glitchiness. NFL is not doing the best right now. All right, so you saw that play, right? You guys saw that. What I need you to look at here is that Miles Sanders gets pulled forward here. That's illegal. You can't do that. That's a thing called assisting the runner. That's a penalty, a 10-yard penalty at that. Now, the last time it was called was, I think, in 1993, and you could see the Texans are upset about this. There should have been a 10-yard penalty, and that puts them back, way back there. Because they were at the 10 at this point. This should have been way back. And it's obvious that Jason Kelce pulls him here. This shouldn't have allowed them. I think the next play they actually score with this. But he pulls him forward for another 3 yards. You can't do that. And look at them. Upset. So our defense did play bad this game. They weren't great. But there was stuff like this happening that was not getting called. It's not getting called at all. So, yeah, refs were blind here. And it wasn't good. It wasn't good. I wanted to show y'all that because remember last game I showed you that Robert Woods was holding. And that wasn't getting called. The refs are not. They're missing some pretty big plays. And keep in mind, that happened right in front of the ref. The side judge is right over there. All right, let's get to the next play. All right, 21 minutes. All right, now this play, this is a prime example of why we need defensive tackle help. Now, what you guys can see here, it looks like this is a cover 1, right? We've got 4 on the line, 2 linebackers. It looks like it's man, although Stingley's kind of starting to move back here. And it looks like we've dropped Petrie down to help as like a star or a third linebacker. And we've got our 3 guys here. It looks like the Eagles have got 5 on the line, offset Dallas Goedert here, running back, and then they've got, I think that's A.J. Brown up here. He might be down here. Let's see what's going on here. And a huge run is done here. Huge run. Why is this a huge run? Well, defensive tackles get blown off the ball. Look at that. They don't even get close to him. Roy just gets chipped here, and he doesn't even, it's like he's not even giving any effort. Over here, I think this is Reeves Maben. Yeah, he's not getting close. He's also getting held. That should have probably been called. But they're not getting, the middle of the field is just getting blown up. And this can't keep going on. We need help at the defensive tackle position, Jalen Carter, and we need help at the linebacker position. That's absolutely needed. And sorry again for the glitchiness. I don't know what's going on here. But the defensive tackles aren't doing anything here. They're not helping us. Not helping us at all, and that's causing us to get run on. And we go play Saquon Barkley this weekend. That's not going to be helpful. All right, let's get to the next play. Next play. 27 minutes. 27 minutes here. All right. Now, there was going to be some more camera jumpiness here. Hopefully it's gone away. It's jumpy. But I need y'all to understand something real quick. Dameon Pierce is a dog. What was it Tunsil said? Tunsil said, dog. That is what he is. He's a dog. Look at this. He refuses to go down. Refuses. Hit there. Hit twice here. No. If you don't wrap this man up, he's not going down. Camera jumpiness angers me, but it don't matter. It's a beautiful run. Look at this. Hits the gap. Goes through that guy. Nope. Arm tackles. I don't care what you're doing. Look at that. Look at that. It's beautiful, y'all. This is why Dameon Pierce is our best player on offense. Cook is not Cooks. It's not Tunsil. It clearly isn't Mills. It's not Green. Nobody else. It is Dameon Pierce. This is his show. It's his show indeed, and he's doing great with it. Grown man run indeed. I also want to highlight what you're saying here, Eden. It is a great play design. The Eagles did have great play design against us. The only thing that I'll say is our defense needs to it's either we don't have the talent, which is partially true, or we don't have the discipline to do what needs to be done. It seems that our players tend to look for blocks rather than shed them and go around them. And that is an issue on the defense that needs to be addressed, whether that be in the draft, free agency, or both. All right, let's get to this next play. This next play is much later in the game, I think. If you guys have any questions or anything that you guys want me to look for, feel free to drop that in the chat. And we will discuss that once we get through these plays here. All right. Now, I remember this play vividly because, one, it was right in front of me, and because I sit on this side of the field. And two, because I was angry with Mills for not looking. I think, though, that that's going to become a theme for the rest of the year. And really, I don't think he's good enough to do that. I think he's a one-read guy. And I think that's starting to get on the offense's nerves a bit. But let's see. All right. Let's look at this play. And there we are. It's a miss. It's a miss. Welcome back, Beige. See that you were gone for a bit. He throws it to Rex Burkhead in the end zone, but boop. I know people like to say you can't pause things, but he's looking over here, y'all. Look at this. He's open. And I remember specifically that me and my wife were yelling, Akins, he's open. And also the end zone on the right side as well. Yes, if he throws the ball in the corner, that's open. He's not looking that way, though. And I don't think that's his initial read. I think he's reading here, center of the field over. But, this is also open. And I think this is also Chris Moore, who is like 7'11", he's always open. I don't know why he wasn't targeted at all here, but he could have been. But this is open. This is 6. Instead, he's not ready. He's not prepared. He's happy feet scrambling here. And he makes a throw that's not open. And when we see it from the end zone view, it's about the same thing, right? It's look at that. Look at how open he was. Akins runs into coverage because Mills starts shuffling when he doesn't really need to. He could have stood there and threw that ball, and that would have been 6. This is the issue with Mills, and I think why you're starting to see a lot of disconnect. And this is something that I've been seeing over the last 3 weeks, and I'll talk about this as we get through these plays. Is one thing that I'm noticing is it seems like there's a lot of disconnect between the receivers and Mills. He's missing a lot. And players aren't, they start looking to, they kind of just walk off the field. They're upset. They're not happy with what happened. And they rightfully should be, because these are plays that an NFL quarterback should be making, right? He's not making these throws. And I'm not trying to say I'm a Mills hater. I'm just saying, hey, he was open, throw that sooner. Akins is open, throw it to him. He's open in the middle of the field, throw it to him. Moore is open in the corner of the end zone, throw it to him. It's just, it is what it is. And I'm not so sure Brandon Cooks was needed in this game, actually, Beige. And also, like I said, welcome back. I'm not so sure he was needed in this game. We were shredding the Eagles defense without him. He's just, Mills is not able to make the throws that he needs to make at the time he needs to make them. And unfortunately, that's no good. That's what we have right now at quarterback. All right. Let's get to this next play here. So I can get you guys out of here. Thank you guys for coming through again. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ooh. Man, if you got the player who's got talent, get him out there. That's all I'll say to that. Don't just because you feel bad about it, leave your emotions out of it. He's the best. He's probably the best receiver on the team. Keep him out there. Yeah, he probably would have. I think Nico would have actually been better. And you can tell these last two games that Mills is just he's a one receiver person. If that receiver isn't there, he's not happy about it. And I think he really needs Nico back. All right, let's get to this next play here. All right. So I want you guys to notice something first. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like there is 7. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Yeah, looks like there's 7 on the line here for the Eagles. They've kind of got max protect going on here. Yeah, kind of like Stafford with Cup, I guess. But Cooks is not Cup, and neither is Nico. They could be, I guess, but they're not. They're not on his level. I can say that from a fantasy perspective because I have him on my fantasy team. But let's look ahead real quick. So let's look at this. Looks like we've got 5 up here. It looks like Petrie is ahead. Looks like he's taking Goddard here, or whoever this tight end is. Got our 2 linebackers in the middle. Looks like this is Wallow, actually. This might be Garrett Wallow. So we have 3 linebackers in. Safety. Yeah. And I don't think we have Steven Nelson in on this play. Interesting. Looks like we've got King over here. We've got Stingley 1-on-1 down here. I think Wallow actually has A.J. Brown. That's interesting. Cover 1 defense. Looks like we're probably going to get 5 going. So let's see what's going on here. All right. And we've got a good play here, right? Good pass down. I think this is Goddard. But at the end of this play, I noticed something. King is upset here. Why is King upset? Well, I think he's upset because of 2 things. He makes this distinction here. He's telling Petrie something. This is what I think. I can't say if this is true or not. These are just my thoughts. But Petrie here, Petrie here has Goddard to start. And he's going to follow whoever's supposed to go to the outside. And King is going to take a zone on the inside. He's going to kind of man up that, and this is going to be taken care of over here. What he's telling Petrie, though, is, I need you to jam Goddard. And I'll take this person on the outside since I'm already out on the outside until you can get out there, and I will come on the inside. This would make this play late. right? So if he makes this throw, it's an incompletion because he's going to have the time to get there, as well as King has kind of got this throw and takes it away. I think that's what he's saying here. You can see Petrie looks back. He thinks he sees it. And the play happens. And look, the inside man here, Dallas Goedert, which is who he's supposed to jam. You can see King is he's moving towards the outside to take this away. Petrie doesn't jam. He just kind of lets him run by and he goes to the outside. Now, because King is moving towards the outside, he's going to be late getting over, and that leaves Dallas Goedert open because he's got to get there sooner. And you can see after the tackle, he turns and looks at Petrie, and he's like, come on, man. See, look, Petrie looks back, he sees it, and then he just lets him go by. And you can even tell that that's supposed to be the reason I kind of know that this is what's supposed to happen is because right here, Goedert looks like he's making a play to swim by him, right? He's making that swim move. And that tells me that he was expecting to kind of get jammed or touched up a bit at the line. But since that didn't happen, he just runs free. He releases and runs free. And it's a rookie mistake. It's a rookie mistake. Had he done that, we'd probably get an incompletion here, maybe even an interception. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. This is where that discipline comes from, right? This is where we need that discipline on the defense. We need that discipline on the offense, which is what the team isn't playing with right now. We're not playing discipline. Or we do, and we play disciplined in spurts. We're not playing up to our potential because we're definitely better than what we've been playing. We've seen it, right? We saw it in game one. We've seen the defense play better against teams that had a decent offense, right? The Eagles, we held them to 14 points in the first half and we were knotted with them. We've been able to do it, right? We sacked them more than they sacked us. I mean, it is what it is. But the discipline is just not there. And that's a problem. It needs to be better. All right. This is going to be the last play I show that I have scheduled to show. And if you guys have, again, any questions or anything you guys want me to cover, let me know. But let me get to that play. And this one is going to show you why I really think people are starting to get upset with Davis Mills here and his inaccuracy. So let's look at this play. Looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. We got Max Protect. We got Akins here, Jalen Camp, and Rex Burkhead in the backfield. So let's see what's going on here. Let's take a look at this play. Oh, dropped by Jordan Akins, you would probably say, right? He dropped this ball, but I don't think that's actually what happened. I think this ball is, again, poorly thrown. He's inaccurate, y'all. He's not putting the ball in the right spot. And maybe against our secondary, that works. But not against the Eagles, who legitimately have an all-pro secondary. This ball needed to be here. Needs to be out in front of him. And where is it? It's behind him, which allows number 7 here, the defense, who's beaten, to catch up. And if that play is made right, that's 6. But Mills is inaccurate. He's making the throw at the person as if this is a drill in practice or something, rather than, hey, this is a play in which we're needing to score a touchdown, right? And these are the things where we left stuff on the field, right? We showed you the play earlier where Mills had Akins in the middle. He had Moore off to the right, and he just doesn't make the play. We are leaving points on the field, and you can see here the offense is defeated. We're like, come on, like, make the throw, make the right throw, make the throw correctly, and you can really see it here. Look at this. Mills has to get up on his own. How many times do you see that out of a quarterback? Or an offensive line lets their quarterback get up on their own? They're looking right at him. Tunsil's looking at him here. You could see the dejectedness. Yes, he makes it through and sacks him, but y'all, this is a dejected looking team. It's like they're not all playing. They're not all playing the way they need to. All right. I kind of think they're done with him. I kind of agree with you. All right, let's get into the last bit here. If there's any questions, let me know in the chat here. Otherwise, I'm just gonna move on and kind of wrap up here. So first and foremost, I've said this for several weeks in a row. Dameon Pierce is the truth. I think there was a stat that came out today on Twitter, in which they said that he has like 36 or something yards, rushing yards pre-contact, and post-contact it's the rest of his rushing yards. Third most in the NFL or something like that. Not amongst rookies in the NFL. Third most in the NFL. First amongst rookies. He's got the most rushing yards for a rookie period right now. That's insane. He's the truth. Like, he's literally the truth. This is the best running back we've had since Arian Foster. And I'm not saying he's Arian Foster, but by God, he is running that rock angrily. Angry runs. Is it Schrags, Peter Schrager? He's got to start putting this man on angry runs every week on NFL Network because, man, angry runs. And we love it. 136 yards on 27 carries. It's good stuff from Dameon Pierce. And he's getting better in the pass catching too, and he's getting better at pass blocking. The man's doing great things. Can't wait to see the rest of his career. I want to move on to the defense. The Tampa 2, it's not working, y'all. I'm fairly certain y'all know it. But Tampa 2 isn't working. Not with what we have in terms of talent. We don't have the linebackers for it. We don't have the defensive line for it. We got the secondary. It works. But the linebackers, those zones are always open because our linebackers can't get back fast enough. They're not good enough in coverage. And unfortunately, it's not looking good. I think it needs to be put to rest. We need to not be doing that Tampa 2 anymore. That's just my thought. Oh yeah. We need to talk about this real quick. We'll save this for the end because we need to talk about that TikTok video in which that's bad. Going back to what I said earlier about Mills is seemingly playing hard. And in fact, I was talking with Matt earlier this week, and we were talking about how this was Mills' most fun game to watch because he was playing hard. He ran. He scrambled for yards. He still needs to learn to slide because that was bad. He kind of looks like Daniel Jones or a young Eli Manning with that slide, man. Don't dive forward with your head first. That's terrible. That's how you get blown up. But he seems to be playing hard, but the rest of the team doesn't seem to be rallying around him. Why is that? Are they just done with him and he's lost the locker room? Is it players are just upset because they're losing? What's happening here? I don't know. I'm telling you that I don't know. But what I can tell you is something is off. I've been watching this film for weeks. Something's off. I don't know what it is, but the team has got the locker room, the coaching staff, everybody's got to get it together. Because sure, the number one pick is nice, but I, as a fan, want to see good football still be played. Bad football means we're not going to be good next year. But if we could play some type of good football, competitive football, I have something to look forward to next year. You guys have something to look forward to next year. But enough about the bad stuff. We'll jump into one more bad thing. Defensive tackle needs to be addressed. We're getting run on like nobody's business. We're playing Saquon Barkley this week, who I also have on fantasy. he is probably going to go off and he's going to destroy us. And it is what it is. I would love to see our Texans win and shock the world. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to get run all over like we have been by Derrick Henry, by Miles Sanders, by Jonathan Taylor, by Khalil Herbert, who was the backup running back for the Bears, right? By every running back we've gone up against. We've been run all over. And I suspect the same thing will happen this week against Saquon Barkley. And if we can get a DT like Jalen Carter, or I think it's Siakiaka or Ika or something like that from Baylor, if we can get somebody like that, or both, right? That's fixing that defensive tackle position, which is what we need. And we need that big time. All right, let's get on to good news. Last week, the MLB world had to take a collective as the Houston Astros became champs. And just like Muhammad Ali said, they had the dude bang on the drum where the champ is here, right? The champ is here. They're here. They are them. The Astros are champs again. I'm going to say what I said a couple weeks ago. For those people who are hating on the Astros, I'm going to look directly in the camera when I say this. For those of you who are hating on the Astros, it's time to put that to bed. They cheated. They stole signs, but they still had to hit the ball. This isn't a Barry Bonds situation or a Pete Rose situation or a Sammy Sosa or anybody else situation where they were juicing up. They stole signs, which is something that you do in baseball. They did it electronically. Whatever. Sure, other teams are doing it. It's time to let it go. The Astros defense, the Astros pitching, and the Astros hitting, that's what won them the World Series back in 2017 and now. And you can't stop them. Sorry. Last bit before I jump off for the night and let y'all go. Happy Veterans Day to all my veterans, brothers and sisters out there. It was a pleasure serving with you. It was an honor to be able to be calling myself your brother. It's an honor to be a part of the world's largest fraternity. I know there's some people in the Texans Thoughts Discord channel. Y'all, if y'all aren't in there, subscribe to Texans Thoughts and on YouTube here and follow him and join that channel, man. We're a family in there. But I know there's some people in there that I didn't get to recognize fully. Y'all, happy Veterans Day to y'all. Thank you for your service. And it was a pleasure to serve with you. I have some buddies out there that I want to thank as well. Scott Hoyt, he's a guy that I play D&D with. Yes, I play D&D. I'm a huge nerd. Craig Austin, great Army guys. They've poured wisdom into me since the day I met him. Good friend of mine, Alton Render. Great Army dude as well. My wife's cousin, Bobby, I think his name is. Yeah, cousin Bobby, served in the Marine Corps. My great uncle who passed away, I believe in 2021, actually 2021, I believe. My cousin, great uncle Robert, he was Marines as well. I don't know anybody in the Coast Guard, but I wanted to shout them out. And anybody else who you guys know who are veterans that you guys want to shout out, I'm gonna shout them out as well, y'all. Much love to all veterans. Pleasure to serve with y'all. All right, that's all I got for y'all today. I want to remind y'all, like, comment, and subscribe. It's free to do. Comment what you guys want for the next video, what you want me to focus on, who you want me to focus on, if there's anybody in particular, what you guys want to see, so on and so forth. Remember, below, all our information is down below. That's going to be for Matt. I think Ryan is in there as well. I don't think I have Jordan in there for now, but y'all know where he's at Texans Thoughts on Twitter and here on YouTube. All my podcast links are below, so you can catch me on Spotify, you can catch me on Google Podcasts, and you can catch me out there on Apple Podcasts as well. If there's nothing else that you guys have for me, y'all know what we do. We look through the darkness, we find a little bit of light, and we bring you right back to the middle. It's been fun, y'all. Catch you next time. See you later.